I only recently started exploring the Wainfleet Bog, and I quite enjoy hiking there as it's very different terrain, and I very rarely see others out there. This summer it got very hot and dry, and as a result the bog caught fire. Now it burned for quite some time before the order was given for the firemen to move in and try and put it out. It's a very controversial decision, a lot of money spent, so they really waited to see what nature did, but eventually they did have to step in and put it out. So this is footage from my last trip out there. This was probably only a few weeks before the fire. As you can see, it's very green and lush. Looks very different from the other videos you might find further back in my feed where I went and visited in the winter. So I'm going to cut ahead to some other footage right now and show you what it looks like after the fire. So there's a good example of a tree that caught fire. That birch tree, all the roots are blackened and scarred, and you can see all the moss that would have been around the base of it. Looks like it burnt away because it's much lower. This area was just decimated. Wow, I can't believe that. Just blackened and dead. Oops, not even pointing at the ground. There's a little shrub that would have burnt right off. As you can see, it was just the dry leaves that caught fire and everything else was left behind. Here's another one of those plants. So I'd say this section here is basically the heart of the bog, and it's completely wiped out. This area normally I don't think was accessible. I tried to come out here last year, and even in the winter when things were frozen I just couldn't traverse this area, but now it's dry as a bone, blackened. Just can't believe this. So a little shocking to see this so close to home. There's another tree that the roots just burnt right out from under. So it's dead. No doubt about that. It's really interesting to see the way it burned, because like right here, the top layer didn't burn. But you see little pockets like this where the fire came to the surface. You can definitely see kind of the edge of where the flames burnt right up to the top. So everything in this little area here is just ash. But a lot of these plants had the tops burnt right off. See, in this one here actually did survive. It's starting to sprout back, but definitely burnt the tops off of that. There's another tree that I think is not going to recover. Even burnt right up the side of this one. But yeah, this is the bog, or what's left of it. Very large area. It's a home to a few different endangered species. One of them being the Massasauga rattler. This is one of the few spots in Ontario you'll find a venomous snake, especially this far south. But don't expect to see any today with this kind of devastation. But I'm just going to work my way back out. I think it's all going to pretty much look the same from here. I was actually hoping to scout a decent spot to do some hunting, because it's basically opening weekend for hunting, and this is one of the areas you can get a permit to hunt. But I don't know, not really sure where I'd hide out here. I don't think camouflage is going to do a lot of good now. Be better off wearing all black. But there's definitely some signs of deer. Seen a few different spots where there's deer tracks, so they're still out here. It's supposed to be a good spot for hunting grouse, but I don't know about hunting them. I think their chances are pretty much few and far between now. So I'm just heading out of the bog. Can't believe how well defined this path is compared to 2 months ago when I was out here. This was so overgrown I couldn't even get through it, and now it's a good 8 or 10 feet wide. All the vegetation has been cut down, so in a way I'm kind of thankful for that forest fire. It made it easier to get out here, but did destroy a large area, so I'm not too thrilled about that. So here we are. This is, I know I did a little clip here the last time I was out here, so I'll compare this when I get home. But this is normally where you came through, and then you follow the train tracks from there. And this was all overgrown. It wasn't really traversable. And there's one of the streamers I was talking about. But yeah, this area here, this is normally how you got in and out of the bog. So you'd follow these tracks for quite a distance. And not the nicest in the summer when it's all overgrown. A lot of branches, grass, and it's probably where I got the ticks on me. But now you just follow this path, and it's totally different. Can't believe the difference. So this is the same view of the railway tracks about 2 months earlier. This to the right here is that overgrown path that is now completely cleared out. This is an example of some of the overgrowth on the ground, and there's the same path in the other direction. Now I had to follow this quite a distance before I got to the area that was burned out. This area has just simply been bulldozed in order to get to that section, but it makes it a lot easier to access the internal part of the bog. So that's about all the footage I got on that trip. This is just a few pictures I took along the way that you can enjoy, but despite the devastation, I think the bog will bounce back and restore itself to its former glory. This isn't the first fire that's been out there. I think it was a fire only 20 or 30 years ago that actually caused them to shut down the mining operation, and I know there was a fire before that as well. So it's very common for a bog to catch fire. It's just the perfect environment for it, and I'm sure it won't be the last.